I have nightmares, I have visions of crazy shit that I can tell you, crazy that I can't tell you. To work at Rikers, you have to be a different type of dude. It was times that I worked in there and I felt like you in the lion's den. The lions is all around you. They hungry, but you got the guard covering over you and the lions won't touch you. I was standing in the lion's den, man, for real. I was with some stone killers, you know what I'm saying? Slice you and cut your head off. Welcome, everybody, back to Leroy Ebron's house. You know, and before I start my episode, I like to give a shout-out, special shout-out to my moms. Thank you, Ma. I love you, Ma. You know what I'm saying? Without you, without God, should I say, I'm going to rephrase that, thank God, because she would have got on me. You thanking me, you better thank God. Thank God, and thank you, my mama, you know, for, hey, look at me. I turned out okay. I looked out for everybody that I can. You understand? And I never thought that I would be doing this, y'all. They asked me to do this. I did it one time. Thank you, Ian Beck and Matt. 23 million people watched, and it took off from there. And I got somebody in the house today that's really special to me, y'all. Because remember, my slogan is real, recognize real. And I'm going to have everybody real that was with me on this platform if you want to come. I had Shadow. Shadow will be back. Today, I got another one. How they say? And another one. The number one, Tank. Tank, what's up, baby?
You already know, big bro, and they know if you gonna put the number one, like we gonna be right and we gonna say it right? And so it was given to me, the number one gangster. You see what I'm saying? From a brother who I used to look up to from N.A. Rock, man, named Don Dubo. You know what I mean? Your nickname gotta come from the street. Right. I ain't mean to interject like that. You can't just stand in the mirror and give yourself that name. It gotta come from your peers. You know what I mean? And when you say the number one gangster came after that. Dubo and Un. You remember Un, Bless the Dead. Un, Mo Dog, and Mano. No, Un, Mo Dog, and Dubo were co-defendants back in the day. Maine and Dog became co-defendants later, but you remember when Doob, Un, and Mo Dog were co-defendants. Right. Bless the Dead, and they the ones that gave me that name, the number one gangster. But go ahead, big bro. It go right back to you.
I'm just so happy to see you, man. I see a lot of my comrades that I had way back in the day, son, and they all still here with me, and we can share this moment, this time together, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Because back then, it was just pure instinct for me to jump in the middle to make sure nobody touch y'all. You know what I'm saying? And who knew that this would happen like this, man? Who knew? How many years you did, Tank?
I did 26 years in the camp, but when I met you back then, I was already locked up for another body. And I had beat that one when I was a kid. You understand what I'm talking about? I laid up for 23 months back then when I met you back then. That's when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And then I went home for 7 months and then came back for some shit I ain't even do, but the time is done and that's that. Like, you know, I had to sit down for that, man, and I sat down for 26 years, but I've known you since I was about 16 years old, Ebron, and I'm 50 now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's 34 years. And like you said, who would have known that when we met each other back then in 1990 in Rikers Island, that 34 years down the line, 35 years down the line, we will be sitting and converse with each other, man. You understand what I'm talking about? Not in adverse to each other, but in converse with each other.
That's right.
Right? Because we represented this entity, right? That's called the system. You was on that side, and I was on this side, right? But nevertheless, man, our humanity, man, like you said, that real recognized real comes through that shoot, right?
Right.
Our senses of humanity, irrespective to the stations that we might hold in life, prevailed, right? And it was that human element that connected us in that way. When I was 16 and you was about probably 20, 24, something like that. Because what you like, about 11 years older than me.
You know.
Something like that, but you not too many.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was dynamic that connected. It ain't had nothing to do with your uniform or the crime that I was in or being accused of being inside jail for. You know? So, yeah, man, me and you known each other for a long time, man.
So, through that time, when you was with me on Rikers Island, how was it for you, bro?
Yo, I'm going to tell you like this, man, and I don't beat nobody drum. Anybody that's listening to me, whether they love or hate me, man, they gonna respect me. Like, I'm Tank Hat, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? On social media, I got the podcast pumping, and I want y'all to subscribe. And we got some stories to tell, man. You understand what I'm talking about? But when I was a kid, man, I came into Rikers Island when I was 16 years old, maybe 15, and I met Ebron, man. Ebron was like a hallway police at the time. Like, they wanted his presence. I can look back on it now over the shoulder of wisdom and see what it was, but they wanted his presence in the hallway because when we used to come through the hallway used to be lit. Rikers Island hallway used to be lit. You got to go to child, you got to go to medication, right? Because the sick call run used to be like a bus. You know what I mean? You had to wait. And so they used to keep officers like you in the prison, inside the jail hallways. I realized later, like you, Trap Jaw. Remember the white dude, Trap Jaw? That was Segree and Longbird, man, right?
Yeah.
They used to keep y'all dudes in there for really presence, and that's what you call the show of force. Because remember, back then, you was brolic, Ebron. You know what I mean? You was like really brolic. You understand what I'm saying? And I think I met you when I came through Mar 5, man. Me and Rum had came through, man, on a punk-ass robbery or whatever, and dudes was just shouting, yo, Ebron here, yo, man, Ebron working tonight, everything gonna be good, everything gonna be good. We came in late in the night.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We came in and shit, you know what I mean? We got our roll and shit, went to our bed or whatever the case may be. You came over there because you knew Rum first.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, man? You good? Checked in on him, this, that, and the third. Rum, like, boom. I'm sitting there like, wow, fuck Rum know the CO. You understand what I'm talking about? But you know, that was in the beginning stage because after that it unfolded. When they moved us to Mar 2, you used to come over there and work with Jackson all the time. That was your boy back then. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what became him, but I know back then you and him used to have all that Slick Rick shit.
Right.
You understand what I'm talking about? And that's when I personally met you, when I already came over there to Mar 2. You was there, you know what I'm saying, for a day. I think you was there in the daytime. And you had dudes on the side working out, man. You know what I mean? They was by the window, looking there off into the Sprung's window. I remember that vividly. And you had them dudes over there working out. You know what I'm saying? They was over there doing sets, man. You had them doing suicide sets. And I came over there because my cousin Guy Sean was over there. You remember Guy?
Yes, I do.
And I came over there because Guy was over there, and I got in the line with y'all, man. And ever since then, every time I seen you over, you used to shout me out, you know what I mean, recognize me. And I used to recognize you because not for nothing, I don't never try to clean up no spilled milk. I did 26 years and I'm 50, right? And I done seen and I heard a lot of stories, right? I ain't never heard nobody yet bring 2 dudes to me and say, yo, 3 dudes, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna shoot with the R. 3 dudes and say, yo, these 3 out of the 10 are stand-up motherfuckers in spite of the fact that they were once correction officers. I ain't never seen nobody say that story. I never heard nobody tell that story. I know individual stories, like me and, you know, Bar or me and Big D could chop it up. And we could be like, yo, man, you remember Harris from the East, man? That nigga used to, you know what I mean, this, that, and the third. We know that. You see what I'm saying? But how many of us know you? You know what I mean? Dudes who we literally seen stand up for us when we was on the other side and looked at society's scourge. Right? Because that's how we was perceived. Remember, we were Hillary Clinton's super predators in the 1990s. Because that's when you was the CO back then. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you was all over the place.
All over the place.
You understand what I'm saying? And when I seen you check the police that time, man, when he tried to front on the dude in commissary, man, you humbled the dude, homie. You understand what I'm saying? You humbled him with words and you gave it to him away like, yo, you don't know. Your actions can create a bigger problem than with this problem you think you having with this guy right there.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And for you to have been able to see it like that back then, Ebron, that means a lot when a person is looking through it through a lens of wisdom now, because that means you had the ability of having clairvoyance. Wisdom showed you that, yeah, y'all could have stomped them out or whatever the case may be. You could have been on some police shit and rolled with the punch what the colleague was trying to do.
Right.
But wisdom prevailed even in your young disposition, because you was young back then. Right? Wisdom prevailed because you seen with clairvoyance how to diffuse a small problem from becoming a bigger problem.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? And so now wisdom tells me, yo, man, you know, I was fortunate to have been able to met you back then. You understand what I mean? Because it was dudes that I've always kept like you in the forefront, even when I went up top throughout my travails.
Yeah.
When your name came up in the mix, yo, man, y'all remember Ebron? Nobody could never say nothing cross about you.
Right, definitely, yeah.
Yo, homie, that's a gift. That's a bless from Allah. Why? Because a man in the eyes of society is the surmount of his reputation. Right? That's how come we so meticulous in how we walk with our reputations and guard our reputations.
Right.
Yo, Ebron, you did that effortlessly back then. You did it just because it was who you was. You understand what I'm saying? And I recognize that me too, and inside my young mind and my young stages of understanding, I knew that energy, like you said, that real vibe.
Yeah.
You know, would put me on a limb when they be talking about, yo, fuck all the COs, man. These COs ain't nothing but rat bastards. COs ain't nothing but crackers. I don't give a fuck what color the CO. Cracker mean a fucking whip. He's a fucking cracker. A nigga never could come like that and talk like that about you in my presence or anybody who I know and hold respect for presence, because you never carried a stench like that, bro.
I never changed, brother. They wanted me to change. I never changed. Like I told you, I almost got fired. The first 3 months on the job, I almost got fired because I walked in on an alarm and they were stomping this dude out. I got to keep talking about it. Y'all probably heard me say it on another episode, but they were stomping this dude out, son. I mean, foot and soul. Oh. And something told me to look down. See who they stomping out like that, Ebron? And when I looked down, Tank, it was my next door neighbor, peanut butter jelly eating. Me and him ate peanut butter and jelly as little. And I blanked out, Tank. I blanked out. When I looked down and I seen him stomping him out and he looked up at me, I lost it. I grabbed the officers and I started doing them dirty. Like we was on the street. I didn't know. All I know was that's my peanut butter jelly, my brother.
Right.
And I just blanked out. I blanked out. And then the Dep Chrome Dome, I know Dep Richards, came and said, what's going on here? And they said, that officer right there flipped on us for this inmate. And they were like, what? And Dep Andrews said, come here, go in my office. And he took me in the office. He said, what is you doing? I said, listen, they stomping him out. He handcuffed, Tank.
Right, I said that shit. You right.
Stomping him out. And then the white officer could take his foot and try to put it on his forehead, Tank.
To make the mark.
And scrape it. And that means if he do that, the skin peel off your mother face.
That's a fact. And it leaves a messed up mark. I remember that.
You understand what I'm saying?
I was there for that.
So, son, I still remember it today. That's why it hit me so hard, because, so the Dep said, when I told him what the officer was doing, he said, oh, he was doing that? The Dep said, oh, I wonder how all the inmates walking around with skin peeled off their face.
That's a fact. That's the mark I'm talking about.
That's the mark you're talking about.
That's the fact.
You understand?
I remember that all too well, my brother.
So, I've been doing that my whole career, jumping in the middle shit when it ain't right. Love you, Fuquan. I gotta bring up Fuquan.
I remember the story you told, man, about the Captain Sang thing. And remember, we was in the yard. I watched you tell it. That's our situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, be a square. I was
shit,
there.
Fuquan probably would have just been coming home.
Yeah, no. the kid was from Queens. I remember the kid, but we never really had an issue with the kid. It just, we was playing, we was amping shit up.
Right.
And we went too far with it. You understand what I'm saying? So when the shit, got lit after that, because remember, ain't nobody do nothing to him yet. But
right.
When dudes took him in the corner, because we was in one main thing.
Right.
And got, sexy with him or whatever the case may be, the squad came out. You know what I'm talking about? So when they came out, I never forget me, Fruit, Little Homo was there. China, bless his dad, before he got killed. You know what I mean? A few of us was there. I think Lux was down there with us. It was a few of us. Shadow was definitely down there with
Shadow
us.
was there,
Shadow, Cisco, we was down there.
Killer.
When the shit happened, Killer wasn't there with us.
No,
Killer was before, but I'm talking about right there. And that immediate, that thing you spoke about on your thing. When Fruit knocked out Captain Sane. I know you really couldn't say it. You know what I'm talking about? Because
you know what I'm saying?
Captain Sane is, okay with you. You know what I mean? And we thought Captain Sane was okay with us. That's the reason why Fruit went to entreat him. Fruit went to him like, yo, Captain Sane, yo, get your boys. Like, yo, they well. And like, we ain't had nothing to do with that. And he hooked off on Fruit. You understand?
I never knew that.
When he hooked off on Fruit, Fruit had to get sexy with him or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And but that's how that was. But that's how the template was back then. When you talk about the time when you was jumping in between things, Ebron. You understand what I'm saying? So like, back then I would have been like, yo, that nigga crazy.
Right.
Yo, that nigga Ebron crazy. That's why he doing it. But now, like I said, from a position of wisdom. Right. Now I see what it was that propelled you into action. You see what I'm saying? It was that human element in you that identified with your conscience, right? Your conscience said that was wrong. So if he's locked down, he's already handcuffed. My training, right, in tow with my conscience is telling me that if he's locked down, if he already has a carceral instrument on him, he's already contained. He's already restrained. Right? There's no need to kick him in his face. Anything after that is pure evil. Anything after that comes from your evil, quotation of your human element. And you didn't have that. And that should never have been a boohoo moment for you in any regard, because, like I said, from a position of wisdom, what propelled you into action was your sense of humanity, bruh. You knew that was wrong. It don't matter what he in jail for.
Right, yo.
That don't matter. His sentence from the judge did not say we can restrain him and then kick him in his face. And you saw somebody do that. And then look what you did. You stepped in, intervened, handled the officer the way you did. They got boy up to however they did.
Right.
You ain't lose your respect and dignity on that side because you wasn't no whistleblower or no punk shit like that. And you definitely won credibility in the eyes of the prisoners because now they looking at it like, yo, I don't give a fuck what y'all say about them. Them niggas could have killed me and Ebron saved me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's the real, I don't like using the word nigga because I don't like to, stunt my vocabulary. But that's the real nigga shit in you right there. That we connected with and identified. I ain't never heard a motherfucker talk like this about Rick Ross. Ever. I hear motherfuckers telling Rick Ross keep their name out their motherfucking mouth. That's what them booby boys did in Florida. You understand what I'm saying? No, we ain't the booby boys, but we them niggas over here in New York. You understand what I'm saying? And we speak highly about you, Ebron, because you earned that from us, my brother.
I ain't gonna say nothing about Rick Ross because I like Rick Ross.
I don't like him.
All right, so we good. We got, but it's good not to like it like. You know what I'm saying? That's what we use. You
you already, homie. You know what I mean? But like on the way here, I was telling Shimmy, I was like, yo, this is an unlikely relationship, an uncanny one, if you will.
Right.
You know, how many people can say that they sitting down now after so many years of their life, kicking it with a person who was once the key holder to their cell. Right?
But,
right?
Yeah.
But then we don't want to allow stations in life to stump us. You understand saying? We know everybody can't be the spook that sat by the door.
Right.
But everybody plays ain't to be the spook that sat by the door. I say that to say when you was in there, Ebron, you served your purpose. For whatever reason, God had you in that place at that time because that's where it's always going to be attributed to. I'm Muslim, and so we believe in the qadar of Allah. It has already been written. You was there because it was meant for you to be there, bruh.
You know, I always thought I would be on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Look
the way
what you
we was
came
brought up,
from.
you know,
Yeah.
running with Tut and all us,
Yeah,
you know,
Big
back in
D.
the day,
Yeah.
Big D, you know what I'm saying?
Spady and the motherfuckers
Yo,
speak
listen,
about you. Yeah.
Me, you, Spady, and Big D was on the phone about a couple of months ago.
That's a fact.
Right?
Shout out to both of them, Big
Shout
D
out Big D and Spady.
legendary
Big
Big
Spady.
Spady. Everybody call him Uncle Spady. Shout out Big Spady. You know,
Yeah.
that's the big bro to me.
Love
homie.
you, Spady, man. You know
what I mean?
Yo, you know what I'm saying? And
Word.
yo, it's just that. Do you have any stories about the one I had a beef with, when he had the baby?
Yeah, the tattoos, but a bunch of them wore them tattoos though.
But he started it, Little Chucky.
Yeah, a bunch of
Little
them
Chucky
COs wore them
started
shit.
that.
They had the black baby hanging themselves with the rope.
You know
a
what I'm saying?
bunch of them had that, man. Word. A bunch of them had that.
He the one that started that thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when he was around me, he already knew he didn't want to be around me too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because back then, they was fucking inmates.
And
in the
plus,
ass,
you was
dude.
brolic too, son.
They was doing niggas
what,
dirty
fucking niggas?
in the basement, son.
I ain't never seen that on the island, but I seen that shit up north.
In the basement. They had them in the basement, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And me and my house, some of my dogs went down there. They did a count. They went to the yard. 20 went out. We counting as they come back in. Only 19 come in. Yo, where's such and such? Yo, Ebron, that captain, they got him in the basement. What?
Whoa.
So when I bounce, boom, I run out the housing area, I slam the door. Now, you know when you slam them doors hard, what happens? It'll hit hard and then it pop back open. You know, but me not paying it, and I see the captain got him and two other white cats. And they got him over the desk. And he's like, yo, let me go. I'm like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing? Yo, go back, officer. Go back. Fuck you, man, you go back. That's my inmate, man. What's up? You ain't got to worry about it. Go back. I ain't going nowhere because I know he fuck niggas in the ass.
Right.
I ain't going nowhere. What I tell you? No, I ain't going nowhere. What'd he do? Tell me what he did. Go back. All of a sudden, I said, let him go, man. And I told this story before, but he just stuck.
Yeah,
let him go. Yo, Tang, all of a sudden, you wouldn't believe it was like you in the Grand Canyon, an echo. Let him go. I turn around, all them 19, I love y'all brothers. All them 19 inmates was behind me.
It's ready.
Let him go. Captain was like, unhandcuff him. Okay, you got this one. I'll be back to see you when you see me. You know where I'm at. In the Bing, one lower. You see me.
Yeah, one lower. Kid.
Come on. You know what I'm saying?
One lower.
Took him. That captain never came back there. I called Deb Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
Deb Andrews said, I'm going to take care of that, Ebron.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, I never saw that captain again.
Mm-hmm. I was telling Shimmy about Deb Andrews too. I said, that nigga used to be leery of me back in the day. Every time that nigga see me, he wanted a nigga shake me down.
Yo,
but
Deb
we can
Andrews,
speak
that's the
about them
truth,
because
yeah.
even though they held those stations and positions in life, look, he took you under the wing, Ebron. That motherfucker made sure a lot of sucker shit ain't come back to you.
Yeah,
but then he also did that on the prisoner side too.
Right,
It was certain motherfuckers that ain't had to Earl. Certain motherfuckers that ain't had to rap. You understand saying, like how me and Black was talking before I came inside the lab about the sergeant dude up top named Colucci, straight pure racist motherfucker in Attica. Named Sergeant Colucci, man. He run around, look like Elvis Presley when Elvis was about 29, dead ass serious. Look like he ain't got nothing but mob ties. You see what I'm saying? But the motherfucker respect gangsters. Yeah, ain't nothing but a hound dog. No. You know what I'm talking about? But he respected gangsters.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So he did something for me one time. I ain't never fucked with the nigga or nothing. I had a dirty urine. And we passed the cocksucker some cigarettes.
So you done started some Viva
Las
Vegas.
You understand what I'm talking about? So,
ahead,
you know,
baby.
to be able to maintain your street credibility, you know, in the midst of all that bullshit, man, I commend you for that, man, because a lot of dudes, man, and I'm not sitting down with no former correction officer be talking about how it was back in the day, because how it was back in the days really ain't nothing to be glorifying.
No, it's not.
You see what I'm saying?
Not.
What needs
No,
to be
it's not.
glorified is the redemption that comes out of it.
Yeah.
You know, anybody, I
Yeah,
was just
man.
telling your producer, anybody that ever felt that you slighted them in any way always knew that you stayed right in the neighborhood.
That's right.
Right in the
there.
neighborhood.
Right there.
You understand? So you always rested easy.
That's right.
Because you know if you ever had to do a motherfucker greasy, it was because his hand called for
They
it.
ain't called for it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we can only speak to those who represent our side of the line. Remember, I was on the side of the scourge. Those who they say were unredeemable, right? Hillary Clinton's super predator, right? Throw them in prison. They incorrigible. They can never be redeemed. You understand what I'm saying? But you didn't look at me that way.
Nope.
You didn't look at me that way. So you think me being on that side throughout the rest of my travels, I'm going to see the police or I'm going to see the correction officer through a lens that has been created for me to see them through? When I know that a station can only represent or speak so much to a person's life and a person is much more than that? Look at you, bro. Look at us, man. I could get up and give you dap right now, hug you. Back in the day, that would have been perceived like I was a rat or something. Like I'm fucking with the police. But even back then, we ain't care, Ebron. We put your jury on.
Yo.
Some of them rings you used to wear, I got pictures with them shits. Well, I don't know if I still got them shits now.
Right,
that shit was a long time ago.
But
nigga, I got pictures with your chains and jury on in
you
real
do.
life.
In real life.
That's when you used to wear jury back in the days on the island. These little youngins don't know nothing about that. Just like how you see me right now, I could run through the island just like this right now back in the days.
And officers cannot wear no jewelry. If you ain't somebody, you couldn't wear no
What
jewelry.
you mean? I remember when the officers got yapped. I remember my son Twin yapped the Jamaican nigga. What's his name? Banfield.
Banfield, little Banfield.
Yo, kid. He yapped Banfield. They right there by Law Library, remember? They going to Law Library, Banfield, little short ass over there.
That, baby. I love you.
Yeah, man. Why he passed away?
No, he's still here.
Oh, all right, yo, shout out to Banfield. But yo, watch.
Man.
Back in the days, he bought it. Yeah, but he used to be doing too much front with that Bobby Brown little flat top shit he had with the parts in the middle, remember? That nigga had on the choke and 20 of them niggas lightly relieved that. Let me get that, nigga. Yap the police. Yeah, this is the time we talking about. When the correction officers in C-74 was getting yapped and robbed by the prisoners. Why? Because they was running around fronting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
we understand that we in prison because we did some shit we wasn't supposed to do. But you still gotta exercise regular human rights to people. If you don't do that, you gonna become the op. And that's how officers like Banfield got yapped. While other officers like Ebron could wear that crazy big truck jewelry shit and be respected. And you had mad muscles back then too,
yo, son. Dude, look, I gotta get my boy Fontaine. That was my partner.
Fontaine, my son too. Yo, I gotta shout him out. Fontaine, the CEO that got knocked, they said for smuggling all that shit, right? But he ain't snitched when push came to shove. He held it down.
Fontaine,
Fontaine from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
I know who he is. He had the hurt back in the day, the crazy big, the crazy shit, the St. Lazarus piece. And he never used to front on niggas. Anytime I used to come from court late, and Fontaine was there, remember he used to wear the hat with the designers on.
That's right.
Anytime I came from court late, that nigga showed me mad love,
Love you, Fontaine. Where you at, man? Love
Word
you,
up.
baby.
Yeah, Fontaine, shout it out. Tank head nigga from Fort Greene. You know the vibe. You know the vibe, man. And this is real life shit for us to be able to be in communion like this, Ebron. And I don't feel no kind of way. I feel, you understand, saying that it's a testament, man. It's a testament to people's humanity that has been attempted by the powers to be stripped away from its natural core. And what I mean by that is this. We grow up and we look up to certain things and certain people. When I was a kid, it was told to me that to become the most successful, you had to excel to the highest office in the land. We see who we got in the highest office in the land, and that ain't no slight to Trump. I fucks with the joke. But at the end of the day, he got mad more felonies than a bunch of motherfuckers I know about. Convictions, right? But no. We're not speaking about Trump. We're speaking about the hypocrisy, right? That made this attempt on our humanity, right? The powers that be, the hypocrisy that made its attempt on our humanity. They put you across the street and they put me right here. And they trained you into believing that you can't look at me like I'm a human being.
That's right.
And then on my side, we were being tutored and say, yo, they sellouts, fuck them, to death be them all. You understand what I'm saying? But as a law will, we went through our travails in life. Life showed us his hand, showed us the hand that it was dealing us, right?
Yeah.
And then we stepped aside from those stations that we once maintained in our life and understood that life had more to offer.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so now you got an ex-former prisoner who did 26 years kicking it to a former correctional officer who served for 22 years, kicking it like we good old homeboys on the block.
You
know what I mean? No harm, no foul, because both of our senses of humanity was attempted upon by powers to be to keep us divided.
That's right.
You understand? Not seeing a testament in it. He was on that side, he was on this side. Yo, y'all, let's pay attention to what they saying, because this different here. This different here. Whatever a motherfucker could say about me, they will never say I ain't solid. You show me 3 motherfuckers who did 26 years for another motherfucker, and I'ma act like I'm making salat.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? You show me 3 correction officers who stood tall and kept his shit 10 toes down your whole trifle and still live in the hood, and I'ma make salat. Cause I don't know him. I ain't talking about the cool CO that might have gave a nigga some pussy on the slide. I ain't talking about another CO that might have gave a nigga a razor because he ain't like the Puerto Ricans. We talking about a motherfucker who stays solid throughout. You ain't never passed me no razor, Ebron.
Yo, so let me tell you.
Never.
I got this guy, if y'all don't know, his name is Punky, and it's called Bushwick. Way back in Bushwick. He got a video out. It's called Back in the Day in Bushwick. He came home and he did a story about me. And yo,
look at that. No, it ain't no wild. It could be wild to you.
Bushwick.
It could be wild to you. I told you that in the moment, because Ebron always called me, y'all. This ain't no, yo, Tank, pull up. Because he snatched me off the road just now. I was doing DoorDash, man. And he snatched me. But this ain't that. Remember, I told you, I said, Ebron, when I was a kid, it was something about you that made me look up to you, man. Because you affected me in a way more than a CO did, bruh. You used to really come in and kick it with me about street shit and know we about to do some crazy shit and then call me over right before we do it. Yo, Tayo, come here. You heard what I said, right?
It was funny you say that, because I love Depp Andrews and Walton Robertson, and they used to come down and creep down in the housing area, you know. They come through the back door or something, boom, boom, with keys or whatever. Or they bang on the door. They doing their rounds. And they be like, yo, where Ebron at? He down there somewhere.
Down there kicking it with one of us.
They see me in the cell sitting on the bed.
That's a fact, kicking it with
like
one
this,
of us.
Kicking it like this in the bed.
I was just telling Shimmy that before we pulled up. I said, yo, Ebron, wallahi. I said, Ebron is the type of CO that when I was in Southport, remember, I did 11 years in solitary confinement. And I did like 4 straight years in Southport. I said, Ebron would have been a CO that he would have been coming through making a count and we would have made a pie for him. And she was like, what you mean made a pie for him? And I told her the whole process of how we peel a regular slice of bread apart and put butter and water in it and make it into a dough, right? And then get books and make log. You might even come around with legal work and give us a stack of newspaper. So now we gonna use that newspaper to twist up to make log, we called it, so we can heat the bottom of the bed, throw the dough on top of it with butter, put apple crisp and peanut butter and peaches and all in it, jelly on top. So when you come around on the next go round, we got a big old slice for you to eat, kid. And you would eat that shit with us, kid, because you know we ain't gonna give you nothing that ain't right. Something.
If people want to really get to know me, watch my 22 years in solitary. It's up there. And that episode will show you who I truly am. I put my all in that episode. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you just said, it gave me a flashback. I didn't like overtime when I first started. They said, Ebron, you stuck. God damn, I can't go home. I ain't bring no food for lunch or nothing. I got to stay another whole fucking,
shift.
Right? So they were like, yo, Ebron, you all right? Nah, I'm hungry, man. Feeling my back right now. They said, don't worry, Ebron, we got you. You got me? Yo, son, they went and got the oodles, the noodles, the sloppy joe, the rice, the Doritos. They took the garbage bag, laid it on the table.
That's right.
And they start stirring shit up.
That's right. Putting it together.
And I'm watching them look there.
Putting it
they
together.
Don't worry about it, bro. We're going to take care of you. And yo, son, they made a buffet for me right there. And we all started eating that motherfucker. Yo, son, that shit was delicious.
Breaking bread. Imagine if your colleagues would have saw you doing that back in the day. The ones that wasn't in the loop. Because you had a few that still was in the loop. You know what I'm talking about?
But you say it's funny though, because they know how I am. They'll look and walk away. Because they know they couldn't say shit to me. They already knew I wasn't having it. So they couldn't say shit to me. You understand? But that's why they ran me out. I didn't retire on my own.
They ran you out?
They ran me out.
Let me ask you something there, because I know you here to chop it with me, but let me ask you something. When they ran you out, did they ran you out under the auspices of you supposed to be an inmate lover? Did they call you some shit like that?
No,
I don't know about nobody calling you no shit like that.
They ran me out because they said I had too much power.
Right. So what, they made threats to like.
Oh no, they tried to set me up. They tried to. Majesty was my partner. Suicide aid.
Right, Madge.
Madge.
Shout it out to Madge.
Shout out to Madge.
Wayne Johnson, you already know we ain't doing no corny shit on this vibe.
That's right.
Big bro, shout it out, homie. You already know that's for me. Shout out to Little John too, big bro.
That's right. There you go. Madge wrote me a letter. I just got the letter about a week ago. It looks good for him, so he might be getting out.
It's good. They need to let Madge out, man.
Madge
been in there almost 40, more than 30.
You know
Madge been in there.
You
Madge been in there since 1986.
I'm still talking to his mom.
He been in there 39 years.
Let Madge go, man.
Yeah, free Madge, man. Fuck out there. They letting everybody else out, man. Give Madge a shot. Let his imagination come to work out here in the streets.
My brother T Black, I miss you, T Black, man.
Where, from the East?
Yeah,
that's a fact. T Black the Brody. I met T Black through True. Little Mama Pops, man, back in the day.
Mark Cross.
It's my boy, man.
Son, you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
My boy. Shout out Hellraiser. You already know. Through the hell, fire, storm, sleep, whatever, nigga. 10 toes down, nigga. I'm going to keep that legacy going, nigga.
That's
Dog,
right.
love. You know that.
I was talking to my brother Stash, because, they deported Stash.
Yeah, Stash, my son. That's his big brother. Yeah, you talking about Panama.
Yeah, me and Stash used to hang out back in the day.
E&Y legends, man.
Son.
And those the dudes you came up with.
That's what Stash, Seville, Cadillac. Them niggas, them the ones that
when I was a kid, everybody I knew from East New York always had like a positive lane in their life. Like, bless the dead to my boy Tyrone. That's Tut, little brother. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone was my man. You know what I mean? I don't know Tut personally like that. We know of each other. You know what I'm talking about? But his brother Tyrone, that was my man. You understand? Back in the days, we was in front of Beacon Theater laying on Slick Rick to come through.
Right.
We was going to stick our hands through the crowd and snatch the change. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I met Tyrone. You understand what I'm saying? But I always noticed something about East New York guys, man. I had another crammy named Dean from Cypress. My son Hassan. I don't know where they at right now to this day. But they had positive lights in their lane. Like, they had an uncle that was a cop or two sisters that were nurses.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, how the fuck? So when I get to jail and I run into Big D, no, not really Big D, True, Little Mama Pops. When we was in Brooklyn House, BCF back in the days, like, I came in his aftermath. Like, so when I came, True had already gone.
Right.
And his boy was there. His boy was the CO nigga.
Yeah,
But the CO nigga was solid.
See,
I don't give a fuck who don't like what I'm saying.
That's right.
The CO nigga was solid.
There you go.
You hear me?
They're there.
No fucking,
They're there.
yo, the squad coming, he getting the kicking. If they did that to other niggas and I wasn't around, I can't speak for that.
That's right.
I don't speak to that.
That's right.
But I know that nigga came to me and said, yo, man, you true people. I said, yeah. He said, yo, I'm people. Said, all right, cool. Barlin said, yo, Tank, he family.
Right.
Homie, we had boy in the loop with us, and this is my word. He wasn't doing no monkey shit.
There you go.
You understand? Saying one time I told him, yo, he said, Tank, don't jeopardize my career like that, man. I make sure these niggas don't do no sucker shit to you.
Right.
You know, I'll get you some extra shit.
Right.
But I ain't gonna bring that in, homie.
Right.
You understand? When he told me that, I had to respect that, because if I would have pushed him further and some bullshit would have came from that, he would have told, that would have been my fault.
Yo, son.
Because he was telling me that he here for that.
Right.
I'm here to help you in this kind of way.
Right.
And that nigga was solid for that, homie.
You know?
Officer Harris, wherever you at, man, from the East. Ian, I forgot Harris' first name. You might even know him.
Yeah.
He got a bunch of sisters.
You know, it's funny you said that. Me and Tut was talking one time. And like I said, you know, me and Tut, we did a lot of shit together. And I was telling him, yo, one of the dude out the crew was asking niggas to bring shit in. So Tut said, listen, anybody that ever asks you to bring something in, he ain't your friend.
Yeah. That's an idiot's move.
He ain't your
That's
friend.
just like right now, Ebron, let me interject a little bit, right? You know the situation going on with the rapper kid Finesse 2 times, right?
Right, go ahead.
His little son's little young kid named King, right? He supposed to be an up-and-coming rapper. Little kid, 9, 10, whatever this little kid is. He pulled the Dame Dash son. Instead of going to school with the weed, I got this. He got on Instagram and blew his pops up. Nigga be having guns. He cheating on his girl. The kid is going crazy. But look, I don't fault the 11-year-old.
Right,
you're not supposed to expose them to that.
Yeah, he's venting.
Same thing with the Snitch 9 nigga. All them niggas that's in the jam right now, that's fucked up. But they wasn't supposed to allow him to see all that shit. You keep him in his place so that he could perform perfectly at his duty. Same thing with you, Ebron. Like Chuck was telling you, if a nigga telling you to bring in drugs, that nigga don't care about you first. Second of all, he trying to fuck it up for everybody because we don't need you to bring drugs. We need you to make sure these cocksuckers ain't putting their hands on us.
And that's
we can get the drugs.
Yeah.
We don't need you for that.
That's right.
Once we start mixing this shit up and start putting people where they ain't supposed to be, that's when the bullshit happens. And that's why Tut told you that.
Yep.
Tut seen further than that. Tut said, hell no, Ebron, and then he won you over because he knew what most appealed to you, your self-interest.
That's right.
Ebron, a motherfucker can't care about you if he asking you to smoke women drugs.
That's right.
He knew that would win you because that was the truth. Now we gave you the hit. Nah, we don't need you in here for that, Ebron.
And I want to give a shout out to VI.
Which one?
VI. Big
From Albany Projects?
Nah, he's up
VI?
there in Manhattan right now.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, VI. He was there back in the day.
Okay.
But they just said he came home a couple of months ago and he did a video about me. So VI,
Light
I
skin
love
VI?
you. Dark skin.
I don't know him.
You know, he became the leader of the Latin Kings.
Yeah, that one. I know that one.
That's what I'm talking about. You know.
And so he from Marcy?
I don't know where he's from now, but but I know he was with me for a long time.
Right.
Just to hear him talk about me, somebody told me. I just want to give that to you, VI.
Nah, I know he's solid if you talking about
I love
him.
you, VI. You know, get in contact with me, man. You know, you home. I heard you home, so.
Yeah, let us out, man. Like how we saying, let Madge out, man. You understand what I'm saying, man? Let my boy Sherrod out from Fort Greene, man. They had Sherrod 30 years, man.
Oh, Sherrod,
for what?
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Listen to me, man. If we are not showing this system that their rehabilitation program is working, how can they ever know that it's working? And why is we as taxpaying citizens continue to give money to a system that we have no idea if it's working or not? Only way you gonna find out if it's working is you gotta let these people who you had in for all this time back out into the society. You can't say that bringing them back out into society is gonna make it worse because they in prison right now and society is in a fucking turmoil.
Yo, son, this world is...
This shit is backwards. You see, and if people don't tell our stories, who will?
That's what's going on.
But still, we can't forget the sandbox, if you will, or the foundation, right? That gave way to the journey that we tried.
That's true.
And then now look at where we end up meeting. Right? You did 22 years serving the community and that way as a correction officer. I did 26 years on the other side as a convicted felon.
Right.
You understand saying that now we can sit here today and talk about not only the journey, but what we see going forward. You understand saying? Because if we don't talk about it, who should?
Who should?
The politicians gonna get it out to the streets but made a mess of it.
I tell you, I got a phone call from James C.B. Gray,
right?
A.K.A. Cool Breeze.
Okay.
All right? He was the partners with Earl Sharpton.
Okay.
And he called me up. He said, Ebron, I've been looking for you for a whole year. I said, a whole year? He said, you don't check your messages? You should check your messenger, man. Don't you know this brother been looking for me for a whole year, bro? I looked at my phone. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, yo, CEO? What? Partner Phil, Dr. Phil? Jordan? Oh my God. I got to start checking my messages. You understand what I'm saying? And they said, Ebron, we won't work with you because we see you trying to help the community. You understand? We see you reaching out to the kids, trying to keep them out of jail. You know what I'm saying? I ran into a kid in East New York, son. Me and my lady shopping. The kid looked at me, Tank, and the dude started crying. I'm like, yo, he like 16 years old. I'm like, yo, you all right? He said, I just want to know, is this you? And he showed me his phone. I said, yeah. And his mother said, oh, it is you. She said, you don't know what you did for my son. I'm like, what? She said, he was on the verge of doing something, and he saw one of your episodes. And you changed, you did something to my son. And he started crying. I took a picture with him, Tank, and she touched my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the blessing.
I'm going to give him a shout out at the end of the show.
That was the blessing coming from Allah. But like you saying, if the story ain't about redemption, this ain't about preaching. I don't like preaching. I ain't with the preaching, right? I'm a spiritual dude. I'm not a religious one. So I believe in Islam, right? But what I'm saying is that if it ain't about redemption, what it's about? If we can't serve as examples to those who think that they are hopeless, then what is it about? Because I'm not going to get up here and disrespect dudes.
No,
I'm not going to get up here and talk foul to these ladies.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to speak to a situation as is. Mm-hmm. If it might sound a little bit harsh, then that's what it deserves.
Right.
You understand what I'm talking about? But if our example isn't about redemption, what is it about?
And it got to be...
It has to be something at the end of the tunnel.
Listen.
It has to be something at the end of the road, because if it's not, what we were doing all this for was for nothing.
Thank you. And I was going to stop for a minute. Their born son called me and born said, Ebron, you better not. He said, you know how many people you done helped already?
That's a fact.
He said, you better not. I got my man John Kennedy and Jermaine and them from Netflix and them. They was like, Ebron, just keep going. Just keep what you're doing. Your time is coming. His partner, Matt, he said, your time is coming. You know?
Yeah, but the time is here.
All right.
They could get on board,
that's what
the time is here. Yeah, but the time is here because what you doing right now means more to me than any person who sits in any type of important position to give sanction to. You changed my life, bruh. I used to look up to you. What the fuck? That don't mean nothing to you.
Oh, you know,
yo, bro.
Yo, that's what I'm still
You remember
here.
how I was on the island? I didn't care about none of that. I felt you was playing games. I'm gonna put you in a trick bag.
Yo,
and that's it. Yo, take ass, sonny, whatever. I'm gonna put you in a trick bag, homie. You helped me humble myself in ways when I used to think when I came home how I got back in touch with you. On Facebook, with this Ebron? With the waves? That's the first thing come to my mind. With the waves? Yo, nah, son, official.
Yo, son.
So that's supposed to be your reward from Allah. Let them Netflix cats catch up.
Yo, check it.
You understand what I'm talking
about? My thing is, those that I'm telling you to stay out of prison, I'm telling you for a reason. Because, I was there, Tank, when inmates would stab the fuck up. I would come in. These adults, I'm coming in. Ebron, what's up? What's up? I'm walking through the hall. What's up? And all of a sudden, I walk by a bed that I know the dude. I'm like, yo, what's up, fam? What's up, E? And I look in the cell, I see blood. Bunch of toilet paper. So what's going on? Ain't nothing. I'm all right. But everybody, when I turn around, everybody looking at me, Tank. I'm like, yo, open 9 cell, please. They open 9 cell. Yo, E, I told you I'm all right. I said, nah, man, what was all that blood toilet paper, man? I go in there, yo, Tank, that nigga ripped from here to here. Ripped from here to here. And I'm like, what the fuck? He wrapped up in toilet paper. No, I got to hold this down. Wrapped up in toilet paper. Ripped from him. Now you got to go to the clinic. Ebron, I can't go to the clinic. Can't go to the clinic now. Gun to gun, Ebron. I can't go to the clinic.
Oh, yeah, he went gun to gun.
Gun to gun. I'm like this. And I looked out the cell. Everybody looking at me. He said, Ebron, I can't go to the clinic, man. I said, yo, he said, I got this. Couple of days, it's going to be healed. Think what I'm going to do, man. I'm looking like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what the fuck? I know the code. He trying to live by the code. But this nigga's fucked up. But he said, Ebron, I was like this for 2 days already. I didn't see you.
Well, he was all right.
So he said, it's 2 days in the healing. Yeah. Did he?
Nah, he was going to
tell
be
him,
good.
It's 2 days in the healing, E. Please, man. Please work with me. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to do something for you. I go to the clinic. I know the doctor, Dr. Tulip. Love you, Dr. Tulip. See your Tulip, man. Got somebody need some help, man. I need some goals, man. You gonna be all right? Yeah, you gonna be all right. Give me a box of goals. So, gave me some of that ointment shit.
Mm-hmm. Box of treatment.
Yeah. Gave me that. Stuffed that shit in my uniform. Came on back down. Everybody looking at me. Yo, E, what's up? Ain't nothing. Open 9 cell. E, what's up? Ain't nothing, bro. Here. Got this for you. Come on. You gonna be all right now. Come on.
Real nigga shit, man.
I helped wrap this shit. Yo, within a week time, he was good. But see, that was back then. That was my calling for him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That shit would have got, you already know that shit would have got crazy if I would have called that shit in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the squad, everything.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
But
you had that uncanny ability to keep your balance. Because look, you served the prisoner.
Yeah.
And you still was able to save face to the administration.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, homie, that's everybody can't do that.
You know, so it's...
And that's your contribution. And that's how come you should be extolled for that. That's how come people should recognize and want to hear your story for that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you was that correction officer who still was able to maintain a sense of self inside an environment of just some bullshit, man. Prison can't be explained in a couple of sentences. Prisons can't be explained in a few hyperboles. Prison can't be explained in a paragraph.
Right. In order to really be able to understand the psychology of prison, you got to have to go in there and experience something that I don't promote to no one to do or anything like that. Right. But I can't sit here and tell you what prison is and everything that I said, that's all prison is, because prison is even more than that. Right. And you was able to still be able to, keep your, keep your wits about you, man, and still be able to keep your reputation intact, man. And that shit is commendable, my brother. There's a lot of times I went home and I wanted to be back in jail because everybody I knew was locked up.
Right? And that shit affect you.
Affect me. You're
not getting through prison unscathed.
You're not. I don't give a damn what nobody says. I don't give a fuck
how much fortitude you got.
I
don't give a fuck what type of self-help books and practices you reading and doing. You will be touched through the prison experience.
Yes.
Right now to this day, I've been home 5 years and I still take showers with my shower slippers on.
Look at that. And I live in my own crib. Before me and Shimmy lived together, I lived alone for 4 years. When I came home, my man gave me a crib in one of his buildings, rent-free for 4 years, right? That's his ode to me, right? No, yeah.
And even in my own crib, I wear shower shoes in the shower. I'm with Shimmy now. We live together.
Right.
And I wear shower shoes. I tub clean, all of that. It has nothing to do with clean anything. It has something to do with something that has grown into a habit in my mind, where if I don't get this feeling, my disposition in that way won't be intact. something will feel like it's missing. Simple pair of shower shoes. People can scoff at it. Yo, that nigga crazy. You do 26 years and show me you come home without a motherfucker looking at you like you saying. You know what I'm saying? To have gone through it and nothing happens to you, that's the crazy motherfucker.
I was talking to Mega Audio the other day.
Right.
Mega Audio, shout out to Mega Audio, man. I was talking to him the other day, and he gave me a flashback like a motherfucker. He said, Ebron, man, when I was up north, when he was in the business, they used to take his mattress every time something happened, like they was punishing him. Give me your mattress. And he had to sleep on that steel cold.
Remington steel.
Right?
That's what we called that, Remington steel.
And he said, they did, after the second, third time they did that to him, he said, you know what? Keep your goddamn mattress. I don't want your mattress no more. I'll lay on the damn steel.
My man CB just told me that the other day.
Shout out Mega Audio, man.
He said, Tank. He said, yo, you on your podcast. Yo, I want y'all to subscribe. I got the AHA podcast.
That's right. Subscribe to my brother.
Sean David 0929. AHA. We gonna get it popping.
That's right.
But he like, yo, Tank. Yo, tell him about how you used to sleep with no sheets on your bed for 5 years. And see, being them, they don't even know. I'm about to tell it now. But back in the days, I stopped sleeping on my sheets because I caught crabs from a fucking pair of sheets when I was in Southport.
See?
You understand? We used to clean our sheets out in the sink and hang them up on the line that we made. People can't even believe that we could clean big, long sheets in the sink.
Yes, they did.
Clean.
Yes, they did.
Right? I got lazy this week and I put them in the laundry. Shit came back. Threw them on the bed.
Right.
Oh, your boy got I'm scratching, itching, crazy. Yo, sick call, I get down there, it's like, yo, you had a trailer visit? Nigga, I'm in the box.
Right,
Fuck you talking about a trailer visit.
Great.
They doing everything to avoid admitting that shit came from the motherfucking laundry. Or maybe a nigga in population went on the trailer and got it. Or maybe they smashed something and then got it. However it did, that shit back to your boy. So I'm like, yo, from now on, I'm not sleeping on sheets.
Right,
So when I ran into CB and Rumble, in 2010 and
shout out
Sing
CB.
Yeah, shout out to CB, man. You know, all the CBs for Fort Greene. You already know it's a bunch of y'all of our last one of y'all. When we talk about clearance, it ain't rock, don't stop. You already, but we talking about rum too. So when we get there, them niggas, I'm on Z Gallery in Sing Sing. Them niggas come over to my cell. Yo, you know how niggas come to niggas' cell.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm in there, my cell neat, like everything is, because I'm a neat person. Everything is neat. And they like, yo, nigga, where your sheets at? Cause remember in prison, people's cells look like living rooms.
Yo, wrong carpet everywhere. They don't know.
Yo, look,
everybody can't live like that, though.
Everybody can't live like that,
Everybody can't live like that.
So they come by, they know me.
Right.
Yo, Tank, where your shit at? Fuck out of here. I go on my lock. I got flavors, Ebron.
That's right.
I got about 5 different sheet sets. I got burgundy ones. I got brown ones. I got red ones. Then remember, I got the towels to go with them.
Go with them.
And they know I'm telling the truth. So look, so now I'm like, yo, Tank, so why you don't sleep on sheets? So they come over and over again. Yo, this nigga really don't sleep on sheets. But already in my mind, I had a psychological experience that left a negative impact. And so my thing is, I don't want to sleep on no sheets. I don't fuck with they the state sheets, my sheets, no sheets.
Right.
Because sheets was now a phobia to me. I was like afraid of sheets. I was really like definitely afraid of sheets. Because in my mind, sheets got crabs in them. It wasn't until I came home, maybe. I don't know if I walked through the rest of the bid without, I probably didn't sleep on sheets on the rest of the bid because I went home from Eastern. I gotta ask Sherrod, be like, yo, Sherrod, every time you come back to myself, I don't remember, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because I never used to fuck with the sheets. But the sheets had me like phobiaed out. In my mind, that's crabs. So I'm not sleeping on those sheets.
Right, I hear you.
Right? The abnormalities coming to the surface. Because this guy got to be abnormal. Everybody else sleeping on sheets and he ain't. Another way how it will affect you. You know, that's the design, to make it through. Oh, yo, you never accomplished nothing. Boy, I made it through 26 years of the penitentiary and made it back. You never did that.
There you go.
You hear me? Oh, who chooses to go to prison? I ain't choose. They came to my community, threw guns in my face and said I broke the law. Come to find out from the door and from after it was all the way over, nigga ain't even do it. So they literally put an innocent nigga in prison.
They've been doing that for a long time.
Been doing it for a long time. Right?
Man.
And now our people coming all in the air, inspired to buy. It happened to your cousin, happened to your baby father, happened to your nephew. We have to tell these stories, bro.
Yeah.
Because if we don't tell these stories, we gonna leave these kids a hollow tunnel to come through, man.
That's right.
And they gonna be searching just like the way we were and end up bumping their head, but worse, because they slaying these kids even worse now.
Oh, man,
they putting these kids away from their rap lyrics.
Yo, son, they changing so much. You see the community, they trying to erase your memories.
Yes, our identity. They trying to erase the identity of who we are. And the people without no identity is like a bunch of jokers in the boat, no rudder, to and fro with nowhere to go. You need identity.
I feel for the brothers that's been locked up. I still got some family when they come home and they come back in the hood, they ain't gonna know. They're gonna be lost.
That's how I am still. I be going downtown on Fulton Street. Into the old Fulton Street. They got Miss Brooklyn and Miss Manhattan sitting on Flatbush Extension. What the fuck is this? I'm from Fort Greene. When me and Shimmy be down there, they got a cancer center down there. I be like, yo, Shimmy, never in my life was that dead.
Right, see what I'm saying?
Somebody could be like, what, that been there 20 years. To me, I don't care. I was gone 31 years ago. That wasn't there.
I got a guy that wrote me, and I wanted to cry when I read it. He said, Ebron, is the park house still right there in the middle of the Brownsville in 392?
Long gone. It's a whole different time.
That's a memory, the park house. Yo.
Exactly, but this is why it's important for you and me to be able to remain and be able to push these stories forward, man, because like you said, they trying to erase our identity, bro.
Yes, they is, man.
You understand? See, people not even on that level of consciousness just when we dealing with culture bandits. And I'm all fine with amalgamation. I'm all fine with gentrification. I'm all fine with all that, man. Some white people, Asian people helped me out of some serious situations when I was in the penitentiary.
Right.
I used to write for Angela Davis' paper called The Abolitionist. And I knew a white girl and an Asian girl that became my confidants in ways that I can't even explain.
Right.
You understand saying? So it's not about that. You understand saying? But it's also, you understand saying, about us remaining focused on what's going on in our communities.
Yeah.
If they're trying to erase our identity, that has to be for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So you need griots. You need people who can keep the stories to tell the stories.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So this way we can keep our identity intact.
Yeah.
It's important for a person to keep their identity.
Definitely.
Without your identity, you have no sense of self. You have no anchoring.
Yeah.
Nothing to stabilize so that you can venture out into.
That's right.
This is the purpose of identity. And so what you doing, what I'm doing, even you bringing me on the show, yo, y'all got a special guest, it's my boy Tank, that, whatever. We here to push those stories forward.
That's
because
right.
we the keepers of them.
There
if we ain't the progenitors of them.
You know, I would have given
right?
Mano.
Yeah, I ain't mad at man. Yo, let me tell you something about Maine, right? I'm not mad at Maine, dude, but I don't fuck with Mano. Let me tell you something. Me and Mano got our own personal history, our own stories we could recount. That's just what it is. Right? We in that loop, so we are who we are. Right? But you know why I'm not angry with him? Everybody think Maine owe him something. Maine don't owe nobody nothing.
He don't know.
You know why he don't owe nobody nothing? Because when he was dreaming that dream, he was dreaming that dream.
That's right, and he made it happen.
I remember when Maine used to come around rapping and dudes be, yo, come on, man, stop playing. Right? Or I remember motherfucker, yo, man sound like he's still in the prison, y'all. Yo, he need to leave that jail shit alone. Whatever they said, man continued to push forward.
That's right.
Now, I live, son, I live. You don't know what this mean to me. Me and Mano used to spend the Armory in Elmira to watch Total Video. Missing you is all that I've been dreaming. He ain't get a chance to see Big Trajectory because man got locked up.
Right.
Me neither because, I got locked up, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We used to go to watch their videos. Then we used to watch their videos, man, we walking around, fucking Above the Rim soundtrack was the shit. Yo, hey, listen, yo, and Tupac going in. I had the one with Dear Mama, me Against the World, and I let him hold that. But I didn't think he was gonna take it serious. Boy, come out, sounded like he wanted to sound too. whatever. When I come home after 26 years, remember, Mano went home first on me in 2001, he first went home. I came up north in 94. So he did like 15 years and then maybe 13 and then went home 2001, 10 years went home. Remember, I did 26. So now I'm coming home after not seeing him since 1998. We was in Auburn.
Okay.
You know, I got locked up for some shit. Nigga got cut. They snatched me up, took me out. Man came as the porter. He got in that shit with a little bar. Right. I ended up leaving. Right? I didn't get a chance to see him. Spoke to him a few times before. So mind you, after all these years of not seeing him, hearing all this shit they saying about him, because you know they say all kind of crazy shit about Mano.
I don't care.
Yo, man ain't this and man did that.
Mano good with me.
I don't give a fuck. Me and Man grew up together, nigga. We slept in the same bed. I don't give a fuck. That nigga like how.
They nothing bad.
Well, they say what they do, but I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Yeah.
He really come from that.
Yeah.
We like, nigga, we was in a rock dog pound. That's just what it was. So when I see him after all these years and he's happy, and he made his dream come true.
Yeah.
It's nothing you can say to me. Same thing I say about True, right?
Yeah.
True embodied to me that street nigga that had a hope and a dream and made it come true. Until a nigga could show me something different and that nigga can't say nothing of that to me.
Say none of that.
Cause anything other than that is hate. That's jealousy. You can miss me with all that.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy. I tell you all the time, yo, I'm proud of that nigga. You know why?
That's right.
Because I seen a motherfucker make his dream come true.
That's right.
Self-made.
You got me, Mano.
Come on,
One
homie.
love,
Yeah,
family.
shouts out to the boy. You already know. Throw it under the bridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, homie,
You know
and
what
that's
saying?
what it is. And if it ain't about redemption, it can't be about nothing. I'm not signing up. Mad niggas wanted me to do these interviews. Ebron, a bunch of people. When I came home, I did one. You understand saying?
Yes.
The dudes get me confused with boy from the Bronx. Yo, that's the homie, nigga. I'm 10 cat, nigga.
Right,
I venture to say the original because it is what it is.
Right.
But boy been holding it down, so he shared that with me, right?
Yeah.
And this is who we are. Right, but if it ain't about redemption, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to gas these kids up to hurt each other.
No,
I don't want to gas these kids up to pick sides and join gangs. I don't want to tell these niggas if they want to get street cred, they got to go to the penitentiary. I don't want to do none of that.
Right.
Because all of that is a losing man's hand. How do I know that I played it already?
You played it already.
And the law allowed for me to come back to say it now.
That's right.
The same thing they will be doing if they don't listen, go do all that time, come back and start talking like me.
Man, let me tell you something. B, you said that, you know, I come up
Shit
here.
is a waste of time.
I come up here to stop kids or even adults from going to prison. I done seen it all. I'm scarred in the fucking brain.
That's right.
Nobody can tell me nothing. I done seen it all. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
I'm just up here telling you little bits and pieces. But I'm going to tell you, in jail, they got lion, tigers, and bears. You understand? And a bear, he'll fight, but he get tired, and he run away from him after a while. You understand? But a tiger, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I could show you better than I could tell you. Because that's what I do. That's how real it is to me. You understand? I could show you better than I could tell you. Now, let me tell you something. A tiger... You hear me? A tiger will kill for the taste of blood. You understand? For a taste of blood, he will kill you. That's a tiger.
I'm with you.
Taste the blood in jail.
I'm with you.
But then a lion protect his family, protect his kids. 25 to life. I ain't never going home. A lion would kill you and eat his motherfucking prey.
You motherfucking right. You motherfucking right.
Remember that.
You motherfucking
Remember
right.
that real talk. That's real motherfucking talk. I seen it. I lived it. I was there. Belly of the beast. I'm eating you right now.
You already, boy.
Shaquille. Brandon. Fee. Born son.
You already, homie. That's a fact, man. That's real shit, though, man. That's a fact.
Mo-Dog.
That's a fact, homie.
Yeah, we all been there.
Homie.
We all been there, nigga.
That's a fact, homie. That's
you understand?
That's a fact,
we
man.
all been there, son.
That's a fact.
Brooklyn.
That's a fact,
we
homie.
all been there, son.
That's a fact.
That's real talk. I'm not just up here talking.
And even if you wish for us to be up here talking, it's real shit. Nobody would have seen that shit from back in the days. If you would have been telling me, yo, Tank, in years to come, man, we gonna have episode, we can be able to chop it to the streets, man, so they can pay attention to some solid shit, some real shit, do something for their family. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face with that. I don't cut a nigga, man. Fuck these niggas, man. Too many niggas around here. Too many niggas on this phone, bro. Cut one of these niggas. That's what I would have told you.
Yo, I just ate my food.
That's what I would have told you.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And that's real talk.
Come on, and for us to be here now, that's the testament. It's more than a prop. You giving a prop to show these niggas fuck that op shit.
This is the real shit.
That's a fact. A nigga don't pay attention, they gonna be that prop. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
gonna be that
prop.
You're gonna be the lion getting ate. The lion done ate your ass. The tiger kill you and leave you there.
That's a fact. But that's how life is. Life is like that, man. Prison is definitely like that. Old Timer told me that one time, man. Old Timer Zulu told me. He said, prison is like the jungle, man. He said the jungle is the survival of the fittest. You might get a motherfucker, like you said, a panther, come along, he might toy with you, trip you up. But then the hyenas come, they gonna drag you in the bushes and eat you. Same thing. We see a dude come off the visit. He got the bag. Here go the Joker. Yo, son went down today. What? Here go the Lions, like you say. They sending them kites. You was there.
I was
there. You
there.
interrupted the kite. Nigga, if you don't shit that out, you getting cut when you come out that cell.
Bingo.
You interviewed them, dude. You had them in questioning.
Yes,
Yo, he said, where you get, why you seen that? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You seen them niggas telling Ebron.
Yeah.
You seen when they break.
Yeah.
Yo, we got to keep him over here, y'all.
Yeah.
We ain't going to put him, I know how you would do it. Let's get him in the morning, send him out here, give him some grace.
Yeah.
Other dude going to sign in the PC. Because them lions coming for him, the ones you said. That the ones he know going to cut him if he don't give that shit up. The same dude that's going on a visit fronting to his girlfriend, acting like he the nigga in the jail. But when he come back in there, we squeezing him. Right?
Yeah.
And you know about it. Because you the CEO that's trying to stop it. Chill, y'all. Leave that nigga alone, man.
I did that for Slick Rick. He don't even know it.
Come on, homie.
What's to do?
Come on. Come on, because Slick Rick came through holding.
Slick Rick don't even know it. Back in the early 80s.
80s when he had the attempt on his cousin. I remember
they
that.
had him in there.
I remember
I ain't gonna
that.
say what happened. Because I
fuck with Slick Rick,
I
though.
love
Yeah,
Slick Rick.
But it could have happened to anybody.
I'm going to leave that alone. But Slick Rick don't even know I was one of the reasons why he got out of 74. Because I didn't like what was going on. Slick Rick, I love you.
Yeah, shouts out to Slick Rick. I don't know him, but that's Dana Dane, man. And I know Dana Dane.
Maybe I'll meet you one day and we can talk.
Yeah, Dana Dane, my son.
And I'll let you know something.
But it goes back to what you were saying, right? And let this scare whoever needs to be afraid, right? Watch. You said you seen the dudes with all the tissue inside the cell.
Yeah.
Right? When I was in Attica, the police was fucking the transvestite in there. Raping the nigga.
I ain't surprised.
Nigga named J-Lo. But this is the transvestite. No, this is the correctional officer that's being paid by the taxpayer dime. This is a public servant. He in there having sex with the transvestite. Now, my thing is this. You want to have sex with the transvestite? Have sex with the transvestite. But you off limits if the transvestite is under your fucking care and control as an inmate. They was raping the transvestite, right? Nobody wanted to believe the transvestite. Transvestite name was J-Lo. The Spanish nigga look like J-Lo. I swear to God, nigga had titties, hips, all kind of shit, right? Yo, look, niggas used to be dropping off commissary bags to this nigga any old way. That's how the police catch wind to him, right? Look, they run down on J-Lo. They breaking J-Lo. So now they come in with the PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act, under the Barack Obama administration.
Right.
IG came in and they went to certain people. At that time, I was in a creative writing class.
Right.
And you know me, always revolutionary minded. I pledge no allegiance to Sam. I pledge no allegiance to the administration. I catch them slipping, I'm gonna give them a whipping. I wrote it up. Yo, they niggas running down. They doing investigation on the transvestite. Boy smart, he a step ahead of everybody, Ebron. He got the nigga cock in his mouth one day, nigga nutted in there, nigga spit the motherfucking nut in the juice cup. Put aluminum foil over the juice cup and tucked it. Officer Pritchard, that's his name, Pritchard. They forced him into retirement in Attica. He get up out of there. Homo rights, the homosexual rights, the transvestite rights, IG. Yo, I got tangible evidence. I got the officer semen. They came up in there, man, pulled that boy on the visit. He snuck the semen down. They took Pritchard and them dudes up out of there in handcuffs.
Bingo long.
In handcuffs.
Bingo
you can
long,
look this
nigga.
up on Google.
Bingo long.
Happened around 2013-ish.
I ain't surprised.
Raping a transvestite on a taxpayer dime. Let's talk about that. But
Cool.
yeah, this shit here is serious, Ebron. You know, and that's all I'm about. If it ain't about redemption, I don't want to be with
You
it.
get
Man.
hype.
You know what I'm talking? I always
Me
get,
and you was getting hype.
but that's natural and raw energy. And that's what the people want to see because
Yeah.
we are natural. But what I'm saying is if it's not about redemption, I can't get with it, man. You know what I mean? I could gas these kids up to do negative.
Right,
But in
right.
gassing them up to do negative, I got to tell them what awaits them, the consequence.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like I could gas them up to do positive.
Right,
And then I
right.
got to explain to them the rewards that come from that.
Uh-huh.
And even if we use or take the word gas and it comes with this negative connotation like he's souping me up,
Right,
he's egging
right.
me on.
Yeah.
A coach is someone who gasses another person up. Because that's what a coach's job is to do. A coach
Right.
is to get into your head and soup you up in a way that make you believe that you can accomplish something. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
And my thing is I can gas you up. I can be your coach to do something constructive now, something productive.
Right.
But I'm not going to help tear down a community. I'm not going to help influence no culture into gang activity.
Right.
I'm not doing that. I did that already and that shit was a waste. That shit ain't make me rich. It ain't make, look, watch this. The lane that we left open produces those who will bring about our destruction. And we can't even feel no way about it. I don't want to participate in that anymore because I don't see no win in that on some OG shit.
Got you. I feel you. I feel you on that.
We opened the lane that led to gang culture, man. These dudes became gangs, street gangs, back here on the East Coast, right? And they main target and enemy and op is each other.
Yeah, that's what.
Right?
That's
I
what
can't
sucks.
preach to them because people gonna have differences.
That sucks.
That's
you
the
know?
reality of life. People gonna have differences. But what I will say is this, I don't partake in that anymore.
Right, right, yeah. So you could.
I
Yeah.
helped gassed it because it was a lifestyle we was out here living.
Back then, yeah.
But we was doing it because it was our lifestyle.
There was an art of survival.
Exactly. It morphed and it changed as all things under the sun do. It
Yes,
changed.
it
And
changed.
then it became a fad. And now it's a trending thing.
Now it's a trend.
And so now we see a bunch of people caught up in it and don't even really know the ins and outs about it.
That's why I don't want them to go to jail because
No
jail,
one does.
Jail now, and I tell them again and again, your options are jail now. You would die in that motherfucker.
You was dying back then.
You'll get cut, split. I mean,
Yeah.
what,
Nigga
you
cut
would
me
die-
in my sleep, bruh.
Yo, son,
In my sleep.
When-
and that
when I
was in
say
1992.
it's worse than now because you got nobody really care no fucking more.
Yeah, the coach is desensitized, man.
You understand what I'm
We
saying?
don't have those back in the days Mama Dukes that's gonna hold it down no matter what.
A funny
and you
thing,
need that.
back in the day when I was working, you remember I had a crush on Queen Latifah back in the day. They said she got stuck up up there when they took
robbed
her.
her, yeah,
they
on the
took
bike,
her Mercedes.
yeah.
Her Mercedes.
Took some
I was working.
Right.
That's when I had all my Slick Rick stuff. And they swore I was hanging. I used to say, yeah, Queen Latifah's my lady, you know. And they went, oh, yeah, you know Queen. And the day she had got robbed and stuff, yo, son, I locked the whole house down. Everybody locked it. They done robbed my lady. And I had a dude come home from up north, and he was, yeah, Ebron, you lied. You say Queen Latifah was your lady. You locked all of us in that day. Mm-hmm. But look how long ago that was. Mm-hmm. But that just show you how shit comes all the way back around.
It does, bro.
All the way back around. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta have your shit intact, bro.
Intact. You
gotta have your shit intact. And it ain't about judging and it ain't about preaching. I want to continue to reiterate that because I don't want to miss my mark by people thinking that, my message is an overbearing one. My message is about redemption. That's the only reason why I came here. Only reason why I came here.
Thank you.
If you knew Tank had before, look at him now.
That's right.
You understand what I'm talking about? Look at him now, homie. Yes, you know what I mean? What I did before, I'm personally telling you, I don't regret and I don't disqualify. It was a part of the journey that I had to tread in order to get where I'm at today.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But do the comparisons. Because my message to the people back then is definitely not what it is today, bro.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I did all that time. Yeah, fortunate things came along that way. I met you.
Yeah.
That was a thing that needs to be commended for, right? That's a commendable thing.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, our purpose is greater. Why? Because we here.
Yeah.
We are here. We are in a position, in a capacity now that, if, embraced and directed in the right way, some more good can come from it than harm.
Yeah.
You understand? Because we can't save the world, Ebron. That ain't even my endeavor.
We can't.
You see what I'm saying? But if I could touch one, maybe two.
Yeah.
Right? And stop them from having to go through what you and me went through. Because even though you had a career with it, you still was damaged by it.
Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't fit in the cookie cutter image of what a retired correctional officer is supposed to be.
Right.
Especially sitting here chopping it up with me.
Yo,
you understand what I'm saying? So let this be a staple for something more to come.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this is uncanny.
Definitely.
You can look on YouTube. You can look on the internet. I don't see no live wire sitting down with a solid CO. I said it.
Right.
I don't see that.
Seabrook, I want to give you a shout out.
It depends which one though, because there's a bunch of them, man.
No, Seabrook, he was the president.
But some of them got caught in the trick bag. I keep
leave that alone. I got to shout out to
man.
That's my man.
I speak for you, Ebron. That's just like some of the prisoners. Some of the dudes that you might have a respect for and thought something. I ain't with it. If I can't speak for them, I don't speak about them, homie.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We gonna leave that right there. But I speak to people who I know like you, man.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they were too few and far between. You came into our lives at a time where it was necessary. Because Rikers Island is notorious for killing their inmate prisoners and blaming other prisoners for doing it. You was in that time.
Yes.
And you did not allow it on your watch.
Not at all.
And this is another thing that needs to be put, the watches we on. We can't speak 50 years ago or 50 years to come. We only can speak about what's right now. And this is our watch.
And back then you had Ron Dew, Joe Allen. I'm trying to not leave none of my main dogs out in my brain because they was there with me.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Which Ron Dew from the Ville? That's the big bro. That's my bro, man.
Yeah.
Jody Allen from Coney Island.
Yeah.
Shout it out. That's
and
a
you
fact,
know who started this for me? Little Reg.
Ron Dew, my big
Little
bro.
Reg, I love you, Reg.
Which Reg
Little
you talking about?
Reg.
From Harlem?
No, from Brownsville.
I don't remember. I
gotta
probably do, though.
Yeah, he was the one that started this with me.
I probably do. But listen, Ebron, you got the platform, homie. I'm treading behind you, man.
I'm here.
Like I said, I got the AHA podcast popping. We about to take that to a whole nother lane.
Yeah.
AHA gonna be the slogan. Because it's an AHA moment for everything.
I want to thank everybody that was watching me and continue. I got some big things coming up. Forgive the construction that we got going on.
The construction.
You might hear a little noise, but, we're just building, doing better things. And I just want to give a little shout out to the people that saw me on the street. To make it short, I want to give a special shout out to Shalik from East New York, my man Mousy, Shaquille from Shaquille from GameStop on Pickens Avenue.
Okay.
Janee and Janetta, Keith, Darren from Stop and Shop. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Black Feather and Fighting Beer, Prayer and Drago from Brooklyn, Keno and DeAndre from Brooklyn, Big Man from Nostrand Avenue, Big Man. You know Big Man on Nostrand, son. You see him, you know? And my special shout out to, what's her name? She always get on me. Congratulations, Ramada. She just had a baby. I don't know, was it a boy or girl? But I can't wait to see it. You know what I'm saying?
You got to shout out Quell cousin Mona too. Mona Scott.
You know Quell, definitely Quell getting a shout out.
Mona something. What's her name?
Diamond Gray, Dr. Jason, and go ahead. Who you got? You
already know. I ain't really giving no because I don't care. Y'all just make sure y'all subscribe to my channel on the AHA podcast.
That's right.
At Sean David 0929
That's
on
right.
YouTube. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to reach major platforms, Facebook on some hating shit because I called Mark Zuckerberg out. He's into censorship and I don't like shit like that.
Okay.
So I called the dude out. So however that ends up, you know what I mean? But I'm going to make my own wave in my own lane because we got something to say to the streets, man.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe to Leroy Ebron's house. And I got big things coming up. And I would like to include y'all into it, So pass the word on, okay? Pass the word on. Did that for you, brother.
You already.
I love you, man.
Wait till I push it. I love you too, big bro. Wait till I push it. We gonna get this going, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Wow, this is great. Let Matt know. Oh, I forgot my nephew G. He couldn't be here today. He usually be with me,
Okay.
Shout out to G, the whole East New York, 5 Barrels, y'all.
Yeah,
I represent all 5 Barrels.
They just
baby.
had on Facebook, put 100 Brooklyn niggas, 100 Bronx niggas, who gonna win?
No,
we did that already.
Son, we doing all. I'm
we
representing
did that already.
All 5 Barrels,
we
man.
We did that already. Ain't no barrels dividing us in nowhere.
That's right.
T.I. calling the whole New York out. Fuck you talking about? Ain't no division in this barrel, man.
All 5 Barrels. I love y'all. I
That's
don't care.
Because
like I said, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
It's what you got here,
Remember that. Remember
what you got here. We gonna leave that right there, right?
Ian Big.
I appreciate that, man. Let that go somewhere.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. I'm good now. I have nightmares. I have visions of crazy shit that I can tell you, crazy shit I can't tell you. To work at Reconciling, you have to be a different type of dude. It was times that I worked in there and I felt like you in the lion's den. The lions is all around you. They hungry, but you got the guard covering over you and the lions won't touch you. I was standing in the lion's den, man, for real. I was with some stone killers, you know what I'm saying? Slice you and cut your head off.